What is up, Raiders? It is Groovinator, aka Adam of raidersofthelostflicks.com. Remember, if it's a bad movie, we want to know about it. And I want to give a special thanks and shout out to Midnight's Edge and the world-class bullshitters in Clownfish TV. They had a wonderful live stream last night talking about the dismantling of our pop culture and the crash of Doctor Who from last week. And they gave me some shout outs, and I picked up a lot of subscriptions along the way. So those of you that just subscribed to my channel for the first time, thank you so much. Hopefully I don't let you down. And if you haven't joined my Facebook group, that's the best way to be in touch with me directly. I post polls in that group. I let you guys vote on what I see. I realize the group is set to private, and unless you're a porn bot or you've been kicked out for violating one of the rules, I'll most likely approve you. I just keep it private to keep the kids out, and it's not that I don't like kids. I just want it to be an adults group. It's because a lot of the movies that we cover are just not appropriate for kids. I just wish that for a second these people could get off their moral high horse and embrace escapism in science fiction entertainment. There's a reason why we can't have nice things, and I think a lot of that is because when you look at everything through the lens of a very politically skewed website like the National Interest, I don't know what this website is, but I like to get on the internet and look for news about Dune, okay? Because I'm excited about it, because there's a lack of science fiction in our diets right now, and we need something to fill that void, and Dune is capable of great storytelling. It has a lot of sequel potential, has a lot of franchise potential. It's being directed by the absolute best person for the job, which is Denis Villeneuve, and he did Blade Runner 2049 and Arrival, and those are fantastic science fiction movies that are designed to make one think. But nobody's going to think when you're looking through the lens of James J. Carafano from this website why the new Dune movie could be a disaster. Dune is destined to be another crashing bore because the actual characters in the story are not very relatable or likable. Alright? True story, years ago, even before dudes wanted to Dell, a gaggle of army generals gathered to ponder how to integrate computers into military operations. One prefaces prognosticating by admitting to being a Trekkie, having grown up watching the 1960s TV series. He went on to talk about the future of warfare as though they would all be Captain Kirks firing photon torpedoes from the command deck. Science fiction and the future have a messy relationship. Much science fiction either meditates on the present or mines the past. The technology may be mundane, taken from the pages of popular mechanics, or magical, cast aside the laws of physics. Since it's often not really about the future, using science fiction to plan the land of tomorrow is a life imitating bad art. Yet good science fiction, like all good fiction, can tell as much. We should not ignore the entire genre, which brings us to the new film version of Frank Herbert's classic 1965 sci-fi novel Dune, slated to come out later this year. The sprawling story first hit the silver screen in 1984. It was mind-numbingly bad adaptation. Then came two so-so TV miniseries, Dune and Children of Dune. I would argue about that. Those are fantastic. The latter was largely inaccessible due to those who had not already read the books. Will Hollywood's latest try be a hit or a flop? Time will tell if it's the next Star Wars or just another Jupiter Ascending. The makers of this Dune will start with a serious advantage. The original book sparked decades of writing by the author, his son and co-author. At last count, there are almost 18 books on the Dune universe, spanning from when humans started to exploit space travel to their scattering to the ends of the universe. The original Dune book sandwiches somewhere in the middle of the story. Thus, the screenwriters start where the advantage of understanding the whole saga being able to reflect and foreshadow in everything that ever happens. This would have been like George Lucas starting Star Wars knowing who Luke's father was. The history of Dune is particularly important. The past turns out to be a vital driving force in Herbert's version of science fiction. Technology is a bit player. There are no robots, no computers, a lot of swordplay. That is because much earlier event called Butlerian Jihad, when humans destroyed all thinking machines. No Terminators 1984 here. The lack of advanced weaponry significantly impacts the nature of governance governance and war in the Dune universe. Great houses compete for power using weapons of intrigue like spying, disinformation, diplomacy, double-dealing, assassination, and troops that look suspiciously like special forces. Contemporary audience may relate more to Dune than the Cold War audience identified with the original novel. The interstellar politics of Dune feel a lot like geopolitics of our age of great power competition. The environment is also a key component of the Dune mythology that too should resonate given our own debates over climate change. Here we go! Bitch, are you for real? And like the world of Dune, everyone is fighting over the great substance that controls the universe. It's Dune. It's called the spice melange, a drug necessary for space travel that is 1,000,000,000 times more powerful than the opioids on steroids. In our world, it's data. The power can collect, analyze, manipulate, and exploit the most data is on its way to becoming the master of our universe. Here's the big disconnect between us and Dune. Our future is inextricably intertwined with technology. Unless screenwriters can figure out how to bridge that divide, Dune will be no more relatable than the dragons in the Game of Thrones. In the real world, how we handle technology could dramatically impact the course of great power competition. If those challenges are woven into the film, it might well provoke some serious thinking about our future, making the movie truly great science fiction. Otherwise, we'll have to hope it has terrific special effects and a music score equal to what John Williams produced for Star Wars. Lacking that, Dune is destined to be another crashing bore because the actual characters in the story are not very relatable or likable. When you look at things through a lens like this is idiots sharpening their axe, just ready to crucify this movie. Honestly, I hope it's good. I have to admit that I'm going in with high expectations because, like I said, there's a lack of any good science fiction out right now. Everything has been destroyed, murdered, and repurposed by partisan politics. It's very depressing. I'm very passionate about this. I can't stress enough how much this stuff frustrates me. It's bad enough that people can't write anymore. It's bad enough that people can't enjoy things anymore without putting politics into literally everything that they do. But it's another thing that you had to go back and destroy pop culture. You had to retcon things that have been set up for years. I'm looking at you, Doctor Who. You know, Star Wars did the same thing. Thanks a lot, Rian Johnson, for that.
And that little annoyed look to her, Mark. Great, I got it.
That's beautiful.
Terminator was already dead after Terminator 2 as far as I'm concerned, but hey, didn't stop him from trying to murder that too. Hey, we'll kill John Connor as well. Why the f not? Pardon my language, but I get really irritated about this kind of stuff. This guy is a jackass. Jay, I hope you're watching this video right now.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
You know what? Denis Villeneuve did The Arrival and Blade Runner 2049, and I'm not the least bit worried about it. There's not a bunch of set leaks coming out right now. We're not getting bad information. We're not getting rumors on the set. So the people involved with this project are very passionate about it. And you know what? There's a rabid fan base for this movie already coming together. Dune videos on this channel probably get more clicks than anything else I do. And that's not why I'm doing this video. I'm doing this because I'm genuinely excited about Dune. And this is the first article that I stumble on. I'm like, oh, they're starting already. They're sharpening their axes and they're getting ready to crucify this movie before it even comes out. Oh, it's going to be a bore, is it? Well, is it going to be a bore because it's not just flashy lights and people staring at their cell phones? Or is it going to be a bore because it's too hard for you to understand that the movie Dune is not about technology, it's about spiritualism, it's about families, it's about deception, and the things that you mentioned sandwiched in the middle of your article that you didn't focus on. It's not a technology movie. This is not Battlestar Galactica, it's not Star Wars, it's an altogether different entity, and if done well, it has a lot of potential, and I'm hoping it works out. I really do. I'm very optimistic about this movie. I'm not like worried about it. You know what I mean? I'm actually really anticipating it. I wish it was out now, you know, because like I said, there's just a lack of good science fiction out there. I'm also excited about them doing more Mad Max movies as well, because I love those. Anyways, I'm excited about Dune. What do you guys think? leave a comment down below. Also, I want you guys to check me out on a live stream on Etep the place to be reviews. Link is in the description. And we'll see you on the next one. And this is the Groovinator signing out. You guys have yourselves a groovy day. Peace.